Hey, it's Dougie Fresh in the flesh, here to give you my best to the last breath. Yes, sizzling and delivering with zeal and zest to help you on your quest of becoming your best and to keep you in check. I'm here to knock you out your comfort nest once again, my friend. So I'm talking about the 7 powerful lessons I learned at Grow Stronger Experience down in Tampa with Elliot Hulse. Okay. The overall experience was extraordinary. It was excellent to get a refresher on the King, Warrior, Magician, Lover, see where my leanings are, see where my weaknesses are in, and to get that awareness is always great. Here is what I learned there. The biggest takeaway, I'm going to start with the first one, and it was to take my clothes off. I'm just kidding. But honestly, there was the guy at the end of the show. I'm not going to say his name. I remember it though. He took his clothes off. And he got butt naked. What that meant to me was I wasn't annoyed by it or upset about it. I know some people were. That's cool. But for me, I saw it as a sign, which I'll be talking about later. I saw meaning and significance into it. Not to do it literally on my own, but to be more vulnerable and be more risk-taking in my own life. Okay? So he said at the end of the entire event, he went up there and said, Elliot, you know how we always get so inspired, or you know how you always tell us to do what we're afraid to do, and he just got butt naked. Okay? Well, for me, it's like sharing my story, opening up more, and talking about my challenges, and talking about where I'm struggling out, and what my fears are. So I'm going to have to do that in my own life. And I'm doing that, and I will continue to do that. That's a big lesson. It's the meaning I saw in it. Okay, so I try and find meaning like a detective in things. The next thing I learned, so 1, be vulnerable. Be more vulnerable, because there's power in it. There's a TED Talk on it. There's a book on it. There's tons of stuff on it. I challenge you, because good will come from it. I can only see good coming from it, because if you open up, others can open up. If you open up, yeah, you could get hurt, but you grow stronger. If you open up, hey, you've power to influence, you have power to inspire that way. And it's just real. It's the honesty, it's the humility. It's what meant to be happened, you're now leveraging for good. So it's only good coming from that. But to the next one, accept where you are at in your journey, understand it, see it objectively, and then once you know that, take a step away and look at it. Here's the lesson. You got to be able to laugh at yourself. So understand where you're at in your journey, and then laugh at yourself. And Elliot talked about doing this by putting on different masks, taking off different masks. So you got to be able to crack up at yourself, right? I'm a redheaded, ginger, ADHD, ADD filled, fast talking, super excited, over energetic. Most losses in wrestling in Pennsylvania. My junior year of high school. What else? Got caught with drugs, like tons of bad stuff. So you got to be able to laugh at yourself whenever you do something bad, or whenever something that you get too proud or something. Just put on a different mask. So how can we do that in your life? Because it's going to be effective. It's going to be a resourceful place to come from. Next is stories. Okay? Stories. What does this mean? Elliot Hulse is a master at this. He is finding significance in everything. And time is not real. We talked about Stephen Hawking discusses what it is. But he mentioned that he's been using the chakras, and it may not be true or not, but it just supports and serves him. Keyword supports and serves is what you want to look for in a story. So time is something we created as human beings. We use it for watches, we use it for clocks, we use it for calendars. But that supports and serves us, like religion and all these things. So are the stories you telling yourself now supporting you? Tony Robbins make sure you have an empowering story. The question Elliot always asks, and I've gotten from him, is how is that working out for you? So be objective, get the feedback and see where you're at and say, how is that working for you? And then when the answer comes, if it's serving you, then continue doing it. If it's serving you in some areas and not in others, make a decision, take that, what's going on, share it with someone, and get the feedback. Those people who you admire, those people who maybe are your influences. Then, if it's not serving or supporting you at all, cut it. Just get it out of the picture and get something more empowering. Easier said than done. And here's what I do with stories. I can do it too. So I picked up a rock, right? Pick up a rock or something, and you can be like, here we go. This is a sacred stone. This stone is a gratitude rock. And every time I touch it, it'll be an anchor for me to be grateful for something in this moment now. Simple story. Powerful one to tell yourself. So, for you, what good stories and more meaning and significance can you find in life? Just to make it more fun, just to spice it up a little bit. Bam, bam, bam. The next thing with the stories is, Elliot was doing this for people, and I'm doing this for my life, and I like to do it with other people as I coach them. Create a scary, sad story that doesn't support you. I mean, one that's going to support you ultimately, because successful people leverage that pain, but create that pain. If you don't make this change right now, if you keep doing what you're doing right now, what's your life going to look like? Okay? Create that most hell, fire, and brimstone, nightmare-like, awful, horrible, Halloween, scary story you could possibly do, and then run from that, right? Make sure that's not going to happen. But see if you're going to be okay with that, they talked about. See if you'll be cool with that. And then from that, you can really take that action from there. The next thing is to do is paint the most beautiful picture and get really excited. The most glorious, heavenly, stupendous dream reality of getting all your goals can become. Like, I want it to scare you, I want it to stretch you. And you paint that picture, and I can go more in depth on how to do this later. But the stories, what story are you telling yourself? Okay? Next, something I noticed when Elliot's speaking, he's really good at this. Recognizing and noticing where people are at in their journey of life. So maybe the person has a big ego. Well, Elliot accepts them for who they are. Then from there, he still loves them. He still respects them, non-judgmentally. And out of that, and he might give them a empowering identity and inspire them from that place and space. And I think it's just the most powerful thing I ever saw. So he might, he's an overextension of the wizard, of the magician. Oh, he's a high chair tyrant, king, giving orders. Oh, he's a narcissistic driven warrior. He'll figure it out, and he'll see how he can support you. And if you accept it, if you can take it, that's great. If you can't receive it, it's all right. He's there for you. And I think that could be level changing for all of us. If we could have empathy for people in their own life and see where they're at and get better at pattern recognizing where they're at. Okay, they're here. This could serve them. This isn't going to serve them. I still respect them for who they are because I was once there, or I know someone else who's there. And that's just going to really help people level up. So I thought that was beautiful how he does that, and that's something I really admire, and I want to do more myself, being empathetic and understanding in that way. And in placing a new idea, like Elliot's called me an adventurer. He's called me one of the happiest people he knows, and that makes me want to live up to that. I know he's done the same things for his wife, and he's done for other people, and it's so effective. It's like the most effective style of leadership. So place that identity on someone, say, hey, you're this, you're that. And they get inspired by it, and they want to live up to that. So it's very powerful, very, very powerful, that affirmation for someone, and recognizing where they are at, and from there, understanding it and accepting that. I think that's huge. You see how powerful that can be? I love you for you. How strong that is. That's exciting. I have a couple more, and I want to check my list, make sure I got it right. So I talked about get naked, vulnerability. Talked about wherever you are on your journey, you got to be able to put a mask on yourself and get feedback and reflect and be objective. Because what that does is it accelerates the process of becoming that camel to the lion to the baby. The stories right? Finding meaning and significance in things and ones that support and serve you. Understanding and recognizing, noticing where people are at, empathetically, non-judgmentally accepting them. The next one is walking, running, sun salutations. All this does is pump up blood and flushes out your system. It's one thing he said that I've been doing every single day. It's going to flush out your system, your toxins in your blood. It's going to circulate that blood. So that's another thing. That's the fifth one I'm going to share with you all. Okay. Another thing I'm taking away, this can go inside of that fifth one, is scooping. So I learned scooping. I never do that before. So I slight bend in the knees. I pull something from the center of the earth. Follow my hands on the inhale. Exhale them out. And as I do this, I'm shooting out to the universe, the stars and the sun and the moon and the darkness and the vastness. So that is powerful. I've been doing that every day before my meditation. I'm going to continue to do it every day. Challenge you all to do it. Try it out at least. Those who were there, I'm sure you enjoyed it. We did it for 10 minutes and it was very powerful, transforming. So I'm going to continue to implement that. Okay. The sixth most powerful lesson I learned was giving and receiving. So you have to be opened up to love to receive love. Okay? You give with one hand, you receive with the other. Okay? Give with both hands, and those hands are empty. You can receive with the other. Okay? So, I believe he described it as the heart can't get love if it can't give love. Openness rather than closed off. Give and receive. So, the openness, which is critical, I think it's just important for me. So, again, I think that ties back to the first one with vulnerability. Openness. So it's just really hitting it home. Openness. 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 So being able to receive love and to give love. The heart can't get love if it can't give love. So be able to give love. Family, friends, and romantically in all areas. So the last one, Farhan actually mentioned before he went, he said he learned from Elliot and now is living this. These guys are living this. And it's a challenge for me because I thought if you help others get what they want, you'll get everything that you want. Zig Ziglar says this. Neil Donald Walsh in Happier Than God, he has a whole chapter on it. And he has all these great quotes of people talking about, don't worry about yourself. Just give, 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 give. Be the source and you'll be the sorcerer that's resourceful. And it's very empowering stuff. But I ask myself, how's that working out for me? And I think it could be better. So I have to make more time for myself in certain areas. I do good for myself in, most areas. However, the time that needs to be focused on building myself up and receiving, like things like this. So I found it to be a challenge for me. I always thought if you help 10 people get 1 million, you'll get 1 million. And key question again, how's this working out for me? And I think the bottom line is I think it could be working better if I take care of me 100%. Because it's the first part of become the strongest version of yourself is become the strongest version of you, then inspire others to go stronger. And I just inspire others to go stronger, but I still have to make sure I have a strong, solid foundation. Here in the Hollywood Hills, these houses are right on the hills. They have to have a strong foundation or they'll crumble down. So that structure, that fundamental principle. So I don't want to sacrifice my own self. I want to make conscious decisions, right, over a sacrifice, conscious decisions. And he gave a quote during the speech, and I wrote this down. We can only fill and give to others to the degree we can fill ourselves. There you have it. The 7 powerful lessons I learned. How can you fill yourself more? How can you continue to grow stronger? Because that's first. That's key. And I think we all need to do that. And lastly, the call to action, another thing I learned. I also did the non-job, which I'll be making another video on what I learned from non-jobs. And the call to action is going to be, what lesson, I want you to comment below, what lesson stuck out to you the most? Okay, which one are you going to have to apply, and which one's going to be the biggest impact for you? So I'm excited to see that. Know this can help. Hope this helps. And grow stronger and enjoy the experience. Stay fresh. Stay blessed.